of the first things a human being learns to do is to walk. Walking is always a very difficult matter for us. Before walking, we have never asked ourselves such questions as, what angle should I place my feet at? Will I lose my balance if I step this way? Or will I fall over if I lift my feet up high? However, the walking movement we perform so easily, in fact, takes place as the result of a highly complex system. Thousands of books have been written on the subject, and years of research revealing the miraculous structure in the locomotive and balance system have been performed. The conclusion to which all these studies lead us is always the same. The human body's ability to walk has been created right down to the finest detail. The system is created in order to permit locomotion in all living things, not just in man, demonstrate the infinite might inherent in Allah's creative artistry. Almighty Allah says in one verse, I seek refuge in Allah from the accursed Satan. Allah created every animal from water. Some of them go on their bellies, some of them on 2 legs, and some on 4. Allah creates whatever He wills. Allah has power over all things. A clock contains a great many components. All of these components function in a perfect harmony with one another. The clock would not work if just these components were missing or used wrongly. The human body is just like that clock. Every system and every organ, right down to the tiniest detail, functions in such a way as to complement all the others. A healthy newborn baby comes into the world. The system meet all its needs and enable it to live. Each one of these systems possesses the most complex structures. The human locomotion and movement system is one of the miracles within this complex structure. A large number of systems and organs, from the structure of the bones and skeletal system to the backbone, from the feet to the joints and muscles, are all involved in the taking of a single step. We may not be surprised when we see people skiing, skating, or surfing, playing football, or throwing a ball with their feet. But the fact is that even standing upright on balance, let alone making such complex movements as those, takes place as the result of a series of processes all applying the very finest calculations. You will shortly be looking at the details of the system that our bodies in order for these movements to be carried out. This is a system you have had since the day you were born. It operates non-stop, within the body without you ever being aware of it. Stand up from the chair you have been sitting in, or sit down, or jump over and treading on it. The skeletal system that functions in a highly complex manner goes into action during the course of all such motions that you perform as a reflex without consciously thinking about them. Were it not for your bones and skeletons, you could never get up and do things such as running or walking. The skeleton, the framework of the human body, consists of hard components. It is by way of these interconnected parts that the human body has such an extraordinary ability for movement. There's a sublime the bones, which serve such important functions as carrying and protecting the body, possess the necessary capacity and strength to do these things without difficulty. The thigh bone, for instance, has the capacity to bear 1 ton in weight when in a vertical position. In addition, the bones make up some 20% of the total of the human body. In other words, a 16-kilogram bone bears the weight of an 8. With every step we take, a load 3 times greater than the weight of our bodies is placed on this bone. And when a hog is on his feet, every of the thigh bone is exposed to a pressure of 1,400 kilograms. Yet the bone does its job to perfection, despite this extraordinary pressure, and the athlete has no problem in getting up again. But what is it that makes our bones so strong? The internal structure, its strength and light, engineering marvel. So much so that this exquisite structure in the bones is an important source of inspiration. Through construction techniques developed in such a way as to resemble the bone structure, much stronger buildings are now being erected at a much lower cost. One of the strongest and most practical materials used by human beings is steel, because steel is both strong and flexible. Let us now compare steel to the structure of the bones in our bodies. First and foremost, the bones are many times stronger than steel. They are also 10 times more elastic than steel. Bones are also superior to steel in terms of lightness. In comparative terms, the human skeleton is 3 times lighter than steel. These properties of lightness and strength in the structure of bones are of vital importance. If the bones possessed only one of these features, strong but heavy, then the human skeleton would be too heavy to bear. Human beings' locomotive capacity would decrease because of this weight, and day-to-day activities would be enormous. We would have to expend enormous force and energy in order to take even a single step. In addition, these solid bones would be a lot harder and more brittle. They would fracture or break the first time we took a step or leaped into the air. Were the opposite to apply, in other words, if the bones were light but hard, then something dramatically different would occur. Have the form it actually does, but would resemble a flaccid mass of skin. Many vitally and organs, such as the brain and heart, would be in danger at every moment. Yet none of these things happen because bones have just the right strength and lightness. The bones in the human body possess different features according to their locations. All the bones are elastic and resistant, although the different levels of these may vary. For example, the ribcage contains bones strong and flexible enough to protect such vital as the heart and lungs. The skull has hard bones to protect the brain. This perfect structure in our bones enables us to lead comfortable lives, to move easily without any pain. This is a manifestation of creative artistry. Does not man recall that we created him before, when he was not anything? Bones have a structure as hard as that of stone, yet they nonetheless break from time to time. At this point, a great miracle takes place. The bone in the break side soon repairs itself. Let us imagine that our bones were weaker and would even. Let us also imagine that the bones had no ability to self-repair. There is no doubt that this would represent a most painful. People would be crippled because their bones were unable to weld back together, and would even die as a result of constant breakages in vital regions. However, human beings have actually been created with the great blessing that they may be unaware of or have never thought about. First and foremost, bones do not break easily except in the case of serious accidents. In addition, bones that do break for any reason soon mend. The way that a bone immediately begins to repair itself after being broken and becomes even stronger after the repair process than it had been before is a truly extraordinary phenomenon. The bones in the human body, each one of which performs different functions, show us the sublimity of Allah's creative artistry. It is He who originated the creation and then regenerates it. That is very easy for Him. His is the most exalted designation in the heavens and the earth. He is the Almighty, the All. Another structure that permits people to walk and move with ease is the column. All of the weight of the upper body falls on this backbone. This consists of a sequence of 33 small round bones known as vertebrae. Because the 33 bones that comprise the spine move under a heavy weight every time we take a step, the inevitable result is friction. So how is the structure consisting of these overlapped 33 bones protected from the effects of crushing and friction? A very special protective system is evident here. Discs made of cartilage have been placed between each one of the bones that make up the spinal cord. These discs work like shock absorbers in car wheels. Shock absorbers are designed by engineers as the result of years of accumulated technological experience. But this problem has been resolved in a flawless manner in our own bodies. and without our even being aware of it. The shape of the backbone has been created in such a way as to assist with weight bearing. This special S shape ensures that weight is distributed equally. With every step you take, a counterforce heads back to your body. By way of the curved force distributing shape of the backbone, this force inflicts no harm on the body. Were it not for this special elastic and curved structure that produces action, the force emerging would be transmitted directly to the skull, and the top part of the spine would shatter the skull bones and penetrate the brain. Yet with the perfect structure created by Allah in the human body, we continue to live healthy lives without ever encountering such a thing. There are important signs and warnings in this sublime creation for people. And in your creation, in all the creatures He has spread about, there are signs for people with certainty. Imagine a basketball match. A player picks up the ball, runs fast, goes past his opponent with a few leg movements, jumps up, and throws the ball he is carrying. Together with all other systems, the joints play a very important role in the performance of all these movements. Every movement our bodies make takes place as a result of the movement of the joints on one another. The job of the joint is friction by keeping the bones as far apart from one another as possible. Only in this way can the knees, elbows, wrists, and ankles be moved. If the joint lacked their own particular structure and did not act as buffers, then human beings would move with difficulty in jerks like those of robots. Friction can inevitably be seen at the points of contact between the components of any mechanical device. This soon gives rise to wear and tear. As a result of which the components start becoming defective. In order to prevent this, all the components need to be regularly oiled. Yet the joints of human beings and animals work throughout a whole lifetime with no need for any maintenance or lubrication. How is this possible? The surfaces of the joints are covered in a thin, porous layer of cartilage, under which there is a slippery fluid. If the joint, the fluid spurts out through these pores and enables the surface of the joints to slide with ease. Throughout the course of our lives, we never encounter any problems with the lubrication between the layers of cartilage in our joints. We are even able to move easily in complete lack of awareness that our joints even have such an automatic oiling system. All these things clearly show that the human body is the work of a superior creation, that of Almighty Allah, Lord of the heavens and the earth. All praise belongs to Allah, the Lord of the heavens and the Lord of the earth, Lord of all the worlds. All greatness belongs to Him in the heavens and in earth. He is the Almighty, the All-Wise. feet assume one of the most important responsibilities during walking. It is a very special structure created in order to facilitate mechanical functions. The concave nature of the sole of the foot supports the bones against the weight of the body. Flat feet, which lack this feature, therefore. As we walk, the heel first makes contact with the ground, towards the end of which we rise onto our toes. The toes, and the big toe in particular, play a major role in our being able to do this. We stand on our feet all day long, but despite this pressure, the flow of information from the eyes and the muscles all over the body. For example, in order for the body to remain upright, the information from billions in the feet, the back, the stomach, the chest, and all along the body is transmitted to the muscles every second. The brain analyzes all information at an incredible speed and performs a the body with the force of gravity. After that, it determines how the muscles need to behave. Balance bears no resemblance to that of a table or chair being in a constant motion in different directions. For the reason, the body constantly work out, and instructions are issued to the muscles accordingly. Now, a review of what we have just seen. Of a second. A person will be totally unaware of processes taking place at such a dazzling speed, or her own body. Walk, run, perform sports under the most difficult conditions. This sublime system in the balance system is one of infinite might of Allah, who flawlessly created it. Know that we created you from dust, then from a drop of sperm, then from a drop of blood, then formed yet unformed, so we may make things new. In the womb until specified time, and then we bring you out in maturity. Some of you die and alive, so that after having knowledge, they then know nothing. Today are engaged in intensive research in order to be able to produce robots. Well-known companies are investing millions of dollars in the field. No robot can achieve perfection in human walking. At the robot, the manufacturing firm circles when it first introduced Asimo, because no robots up until then had been able to do and walk on two legs. What Honda put in the product? Around 100 million was spent with tens of hundreds of scientists working. Yet, despite all of this, things the robot was capable of doing, it could welcome visitors and take them where they wanted to go. It could use its hands to perform simple special programming or remote commands were required in order for it to do anything else. The process of walking, which human beings were able to perform training, no calculation, and even with their eyes closed, research and highly complex programming. The most eminent name in scientific computer technology, mechanics, electronics, mathematics, chemistry, and biology together to imitate one single feature of the system. Prove that the process of walking, something human beings do automatically, is really a very difficult one requiring the most delicate practice. Allah is He who created using no previous precedent. You do not confirm the truth. Have you not thought right? You who created, or are we the world? Delicate tissues, nerves, and blood are never damaged. The foot has a special cushioning structure that eliminates harm of the weight of the body and to be distributed equally. In a really important state of affairs, let us imagine that the weight applied to the feet and the weight of 70 kilograms placed on them. The tissue would soon be crushed, the blood vessels would burst, and the bone would fall apart. The vessel will never in the of a person long. This is because an organ specially created for weight bearing. Such examples of Allah's sublime where we learn from Him and comprehend His might. Things that is Allah, Lord. A person needs a muscular system to be able to move, because all the bones that constitute the skeleton are attached. It brings the bones together and permits them to move. The muscles and the bones allow us to make a great many movements by working together during every movement we make. An example of complete coordination. system that allows us to move recognizes structures and functions of the bone. Are all acquainted with our muscles as if they understand each other's language. When we walk, the leg muscle contracts as the knee joint bends. And stand with no difficulty. So immediately the muscles around the bone, all the necessary preconditions for the muscle to be are met beforehand. The slides off the bone, and the bone never hurts the muscle. Two completely different to one another. Act in complete cooperation with one another. All in every cell power. The long them work surrounding them muscle. And walk. While formed on the bone. Creature. God. One of the main able to walk, and even muscular skeletal systems are, we could never stand of a balanced system. The balanced system only controls our body adjustments as delicate as those required by a tightrope walker. Component of the balanced system is in the inner ear. The ear is known as the labyrinth. The vertical bones like a tube. There is also fluid inside one of the vertical bones in the labyrinth, and on the surfaces of those areas where the fluid runs. Whenever any movement in these bones causes the microhairs to vibrate, this alters the ion balance in the cell and produces an electrical signal. These electrical signals are transmitted by way of the nerves to the organ known as the cerebellum, the rear of the brain. The cerebellum constantly analyzes the data reaching it from are also needed if balance is to be established. For that reason, the cerebellum does not man see that we created him from a drop, yet he makes likeness of us and forgets his own creation, saying, "Who will when they are paid? Say, he who made them in the first place will bring them back to life. He has total knowledge of each created thing.